This episode is powered by Hyatt, your smart companion for digital business solutions, and by Auditak's gracious invitations and support. Thank you for having me at the conference and fueling this journey. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Devs on Tape. Today again from Grapevine, Texas. Auditak Kscope is happening right here. And I have, as you might hear the last weeks, plenty of great guests here with me in the Auditak booth in the middle of the exhibition center. So please bear with us when there are maybe some background noises. It's because there are hundreds of people around us right now. Kind of pressure, right?
Yeah.
So you might heard it from this one word. Yeah, you might guess who is my guest today. It's Alex Nuijten. Nuijten.
Close enough.
So, hey, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
All right.
Whoever might not know you.
Whoever might not. Okay, so I'm Alex Nuijten.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll just listen to Alex. So that's
okay.
That's more than enough. Yeah. I'm one of the Oracle ACE Directors.
Mm-hmm.
I regularly go to conferences, present there. Most of my area is going to be SQL, SQL, a little bit of Apex every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it to say.
Yeah, I would like to say it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I have my own one-person company.
Mm-hmm.
So an independent consultant and...
You make it work to be at so many conferences and attending it, just being self-employed, right? So this is kind of something different than many of our other guests that are just companies are allowing them to come to the conference and they don't need to take care of projects they're working on, right? So how do you do that?
How do I do that? How do I balance that?
Yeah, exactly.
I find out that if I'm working for a project or on a project, that I get quite easily bored.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm working for a couple of months at a time, and it's most of the time a lot of routine stuff that I do. So I kind of find that I have a nice balance that if I go to a conference, it's like a mini vacation type, even though it's still work related.
Yeah, sure.
So you get away from the project and you get to do some other stuff, and then you go back to the project and you're with
refreshed, right?
Refreshed, new energy, new ideas. So yeah, I kind of found that I needed that balance.
Mm-hmm. And this makes you to an ACE director. So you have so much time to contribute and you have this regular vacations, you call it.
Well, it's still work.
It's still work. Yeah,
that's the story, and I'm sticking to that one. So
yeah, it's fine. So you're visiting great places. You're traveling around the world, I would say. I mean, Kscope is something special, right? So
Kscope is very special.
European conferences. But you will not get an ACE director, but just regularly attending conferences. You're speaking to, right?
Yes. Yeah. I only or mostly go to conferences if I'm speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not speaking, if I'm not presenting, then I might go to a conference, but
it's not the same, right?
It's not the same. It's different way. And like you said, Kscope is kind of special. Mm-hmm. So the first time I was on the public stage, it was at the Kscope.
Okay.
So that was a long time ago, but and that was really scary and exciting. And
so you have chosen an American conference to be a first-time speaker.
Yeah.
They asked you to, or you just saw the conference and you knew that you will get the conference ticket for free when you...
No, I never heard of the conference before. So I was working at a company.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is one of my colleagues, he knew the conference. He had been there for a couple of years already before that.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of said, oh, well, it's a nice conference to go to. And maybe submit a paper and this and the other. So I did. And I think I submitted 3 or 4 abstracts.
Okay.
And of course, all of them got rejected. All of them got rejected. And so my colleague was like, well, he had this idea for a presentation, which could be a duo presentation. Mm-hmm. So he said, well, I appreciate the effort you put in all of your abstracts and all of them got rejected. So why don't we make the duo presentation?
Yeah.
So, and that's how I came to Auditak the first time.
It's always a fun story, right? I share that. I have the same thing. I did a presentation before in Germany, but you try to go to Kscope and you're submitting as many abstracts as possible, right? And then from my end, I got 3 different presentations accepted. And our listeners might know how this works when you attend or when you submit abstracts to a conference. Then you just think of a topic. It might not be really being thought about,
like
right?
a general idea most of the time. Like, okay, I have the general idea what I'd like to talk about, this kind of technology or that kind of, or this sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So I might dive into that like later on, and like you said,
basically just a couple of months or weeks before the conference. Like,
and then you really have to dive into stuff. Yeah.
So you have an idea what topic you want to talk about, then you get kind of a title, and then you write an abstract on that, because you need like a certain amount of words to be
describe what it's about, or give a general suggestion of
what you planned to do.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
And if you submit like 3 or 4 talks, you just say, okay, if some of those will be accepted, it's absolutely manageable. But if you get all 4
of them,
then you have plenty of work to do.
You have a lot of work to do. Yeah.
And there's like a half a year time to do that, right? So from abstract submission to the conference itself, there are plenty of months, and then you wait a couple of months to see which one were basically accepted. And this time, I guess the acceptance mails went out just a few months before the conference. I guess it was this year, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, for this one.
I remember having this in December then. So you have at least like 5 to 6 months time to prepare for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it went from there. So you started like being thrown in the cold water, having so many conference talks at the same conference, being prepared for. So where was the first Kscope you attended?
Where was the first one? Was in New Orleans.
Oh, man.
So yeah, it was 2005. I'm almost ashamed to. No. So it was 20 years ago. Okay, so 2005, New Orleans. And it was, I did a co-presentation with my colleague of mine, and the format was going to be new features on the database stuff. So SQL, PL/SQL, new features.
Yeah.
And the format that we used was a quiz type.
Okay.
So we would give like a question, okay, how can you solve that problem? You give them multiple choice answers basically. And one of them was like the new feature that we wanted to introduce.
Okay.
So with demos on that one, like this is the old way of solving things, with this new feature, you can do it this way, and it's much better, easier.
So a well thought talk, right? It's not just 50 slides, 60 minutes, and just going from A to Z.
So it was one of those things where we started. So the format was we asked the questions, audience would participate in, like with the written down answers, and whoever won actually got a prize and stuff. So in that session, my colleague was doing all the demos on the new features, and I was the quiz master. Basically.
Okay. Just comedian, right? The moderator.
Yeah.
This is something I remember from your talks, that there's always some kind of humor in it, right?
Oh, well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely
never in the, no. So, but for that talk at that time, I was really nervous about it. So my colleague, who was obviously more experienced and whatnot, so he asked me about it, like, okay, how are you going to, then see, once you start, after your first 5 minutes, if you start talking, after 5 minutes, it's okay. And then it's until the end, right? So the first 5 minutes is the hard part, and then it's easy to go through the talk itself. So he asked me, like, so how are you going to introduce yourself? Or how are you going to start? So I thought about it a long time, and I said, well, what I'm going to do is, welcome to the session. This talk is different than all other talks, because normally people talk for 50 minutes and then 10 minutes you can ask questions. So, but this talk is going to be the other way around. We're going to be asking questions. You're going to be providing the answers, and then we'll take it from there. And he said, well, that's a nice way of getting started, setting the expectations. So,
I mean, if you get the community or the audience involved, they're, a little bit more into it, right? So I remember talking in front of people that were just attending a speech and waiting for someone to let it rain, let it rain on them, like knowledge-wise. Yeah. And so if you get the audience into it and being part of the whole presentation, it might be a risk, right? So if you have people in front of you who doesn't care.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true.
Did that happen to you?
Oh, yeah. You see a big difference in audience. Like, it really depends on where you are. Like here in the US, where we're now, if you open the floor up for questions, or if you ask, like in between, like, okay, anyone, any questions?
Yes.
You might get someone that actually basically takes over the speech, and then you have to cut them off, or you have to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if like in some of the
other countries, you can say it.
Yeah, other countries, well, people are just stone-faced. You don't even know if they're actually hearing what you're saying or even understand what you're saying.
Yeah, staring at the floor, right?
So
not to be involved.
Yeah, I had one time at a session where there was this it was a guy sitting at the back of the room, and he was quite muscular. He was quite a beefy guy. And he was staring at me all the time, and he had this death stare, like, "Oh, when you're done, I'm gonna destroy you. I'm really gonna."
but why?
Yeah,
it's just a look, right?
Yeah. He just had that look. He was like, "I'm gonna when you shut up, I'm gonna really." Right. So I was done with that talk, and I started getting all my stuff, so my laptop and my bag and everything. And he stood up and he walked over to me. I'm like, "Oh, hurry up!" So I got all my stuff, and he walked over to me. He said, "I liked your talk."
With the same accent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked your talk. That was good.
But you're frightened all the time, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought, oh, I'd better not make any mistakes. Well, yeah. So,
but you kept that kind of talking, right? Kind of presentations. I want to refer to the talk I saw the last time, I guess. It was this one versus the other talk with Chris Saxon, right? So please tell me more about that. So it was announced on social media and so on with like great images, and everyone was looking forward to it. And we knew that you were prepared so well. So even we did kind of a knockoff of that, doing PL SQL versus JavaScript. We liked the format so great. Yeah, exactly. So what brought you to think this is a great format?
Okay, so it was a talk about SQL and then ANSI versus Oracle syntax. It's also always one of those debates. How do you do joins? And should you use like the ANSI join standard or just use comma? And so it was one of the things that we started talking to Chris about it. I know Chris very well, so that makes it easier. And he said, well, we should do a talk about like what are the advantages and what it is. And while we were discussing about it, it sounded like we were like, okay, well, if you're going to be pro ANSI and I'm going to be non-ANSI, so this is going to be, we have to fight this out. So, and while we were talking about it, said, well, this sounds like a boxing match.
Yeah.
So we came up with that concept, like, okay, let's do a boxing match. And then at first, Chris was doing the ANSI, defender of ANSI.
Okay.
But Chris works for Oracle. So I said, no, you can't do that. You have to be Oracle.
And everything was prepared for this role, right? And then you switched and you
exactly.
You were all set.
So we realized, so even stupid things like that, when you start thinking about, okay, we can do a boxing match.
Yep.
You have to have different rounds. So what are we going to be talking about in different rounds? And who's going to win? You have to have some kind of like, okay, who's going to win? So we divided up in 3 rounds. So just the joins to begin with, the obvious one, of course. I was going to win that round.
Okay.
So we decided I was on the ANSI side and said, okay, I'm going to win this one. So the second was functions. So there are ANSI functions, there are Oracle specific functions. So Chris was going to do that one.
Okay.
And then we had some miscellaneous ANSI things that were in there. We thought, you know what, because it's 1-1, you can prepare like the scoreboard 1-1, right? That's easy.
Yeah, you know what the result is.
Because I was going to win, he's going to win. So the scoreboard said 1-1.
Yeah.
So we thought, you know what, we'll let the audience decide who's going to win round 3. So just by noise and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And if you kind of rally up people that way, they want to participate. So then Chris came up with like, well, if we're going to be doing a boxing match, it should be nice if we have like an intro, right?
Yeah.
So someone like a speaker who's actually can do that kind of stuff. So one of his colleagues at Oracle, he had a really great voice for that one. So he recorded like the intro to the boxing match.
Yeah.
Like in the red corner,
Alex Nuijten.
No, I was in the blue corner. Red is Oracle, of course.
I was always pretending that I was in the talk, right?
Yeah. It sounded good.
No.
I almost fell for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you got the intros from the colleague of
from the colleague. Yeah, exactly. So of course, every boxer has a nickname as well, right? So I picked Chris's nickname there. So he's Chris Saxon, right? So his middle name was Chris Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxon, okay.
I thought it was funny. So
yeah, I mean, how often did you have this talk? I saw it on the agenda, and that's I'm honest. I saw it in the agenda of different companies, right?
Yeah, it was
conferences. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we did that one a total of 9 times.
And it's always the same, right? So you
it's always a little bit different.
Okay.
So I would like to bring for that talk. We brought some props. We had some blow up boxing gloves and that kind of stuff. So
as we're always improving,
always changing. I would put it that way. Okay. Improving. I'm not sure. What was I going to say? Oh, the props. Yeah. So as we did that talk a few times, I thought I'll just try to get Chris off his. Mm-hmm. So I started bringing in more props, so fake noses and mustaches, okay, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So you're planning to bring that back to do like kind of a second match, or is it just a thing you just stopped doing after it was great? Like we did it 9 times, it's very great, but
yeah, I'll see. We did it. Well, we did, like I said, 9 times. So that was quite a lot for just one talk. But things also started changing within Oracle, right? So the reason why I won round number 1 was because of this, that, and the other, where there was something strange in documentation, but they fixed that. So it's like, okay, they can't use that kind
exactly the same.
Yeah, or they also did a fix on something that I said, well, that's obvious, that's stupid, and they fixed that one as well. So it's like, yeah, the talk's not, it's dated now. So
obviously you're not doing the exact talk again, but if you do this fighting theme, I think that it's pretty neat for a presentation because everyone is like following, and you got the props for that. You have the sound files, the leaderboard, you have the story behind the talk, right? Yeah. So you're just teaching people in technology stuff, but do it a fun way. And this is very seldom to see, I think.
Yeah, true.
So bring it back.
Bring it back
with some other VS stuff, right?
Yeah. I think it's quite hard to come up with, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to compare stuff? Like you said, if you're going to compare SQL or PL SQL to JavaScript, how are you going to do that? So I think it's quite hard to come up with like a new kind of match type of thing, or so it's.
But I still do, when you do your talks on your own, like just you presenting, is it always like you have a story behind that, or do you really do this from A to Z lectures?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It's most of the time I try to come up with a theme at least for talks, at least to get my pictures in the same kind of type of pictures and so on. So the last talk I did was on JSON in the database. So obviously JSON, I thought of Jason Voorhees, the killer in the Friday the 13th movies.
Okay.
So the theme was a horror theme. So I had all kind of pictures that you could find of Friday the 13th, and I used that one throughout the talk of Jason. So I'd like to do that one. Okay. I also like to put in some things that make me chuckle at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you have fun during your presentation, the audience kind of have it too, right? So if the topic itself meets their expectations and you do some fun things around it, it's always nice.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'm not sure, because there's always going to be something in there that is completely useless kind of information.
But you get your feedback, right? Especially at Kscope, people used to fill the forms for that, the feedback forms.
Yeah.
And obviously you're like speaking the first time at 2005 at Kscope, and you're still here. There's someone who likes your talks, right? at least a couple of guys.
You can only bribe so much. Yeah, I got feedback one time. One of the first times I talked, it was like, well, the talk was nice, but there were so many useless pictures in there. And I thought it was funny.
Yes.
So after that one, I really did an effort to get more useless pictures, which are
just to get
somewhat related, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so talking for so long, like 2005, I have to say it again, right?
Yeah, just rub it in. Fine, that's fine.
You followed Oracle changing like many things, modern development, modern Oracle database development. Do you follow all the new stuff, like new databases coming out? Developer edition of 23 AI came out. Do you follow the steps and try each and every new feature, or do you prepare just for the stuff that is well settled and in the wild?
Yeah, though I like to figure out what's new and what things change. But I also found that even though you start looking into that kind of new functionality, it's not always easy to find a proper use case for it.
Okay.
So just to give an example there, they made some changes with loop. Like if you do a for loop, you can normally it was like from 1 to 10 and then that kind of stuff. But you can also do now, you can skip things and do different kind of indexing and so on. So I thought, well, that's nice, but why?
It's good to know then when you stumble upon a problem at a customer side in the project and you are aware of the new features and you are aware of that. I mean, we all started, and myself started too, without JSON in the database in a proper way. So there were so many SOAP things, XML implementations, and all kind of stuff going on. And then JSON was introduced, right? And you said you were talking about that. This was a great introduction. But what would you say in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years, were your favorite thing coming to the database?
Yeah, I agree with you on the JSON stuff. Yeah.
So introducing REST APIs, REST stuff, and then together with JSON, proper JSON support is
exactly.
Okay.
So I started looking into JSON because like a few years ago I wrote a book with Patrick Borrell, not that guy,
Yeah, obviously.
And I thought, well, I did some work with JSON at the time, so I'll take care of the JSON chapters. So, and he said,
you had to dig deep into the topic, yeah.
So I thought, I'll just do SQL and JSON and then peel SQL and JSON and then some storage of JSON. How are you going to store JSON? And he said, that sounds great. Why don't you start writing those chapters and I'll take a month vacation. So I thought, that's good. I'll just get my chapters done and I'm done with the book and he can finish his chapters. So that was the plan. So I started looking into JSON and there was so much stuff to uncover. For me, it was really hard because I had to put it down on paper, like what I've read, what I've studied, what I've done. Where are you going to start? Because if you start with SQL functions that use JSON, you need to know the path expressions that you need. But if you're going to start with path expressions, you have to introduce JSON first. But if you're going to introduce JSON, you get and it took me like the time he was on vacation, like by the time he came back, he said, so how are the chapters? We're like, yeah, I still have to work. I still have to get started on those, yeah. So, and I really like the JSON functionality in there, yeah.
But talking about the books you wrote, I almost missed that part for this podcast. So nice that you mentioned that. So writing a book is kind of a big thing, right? So you write something down, it will stay forever. You cannot change it afterwards.
No.
You have to put some stuff very well researched in that, right? And to say, okay, I'm going to write about a feature I'm not that aware of. Now I have to research for that again and I have to figure things out. Yeah. And then somebody uses as a reference. So how you can get along with the pressure. So, I have to learn this now. Then I have to find a way to find the right entry point. Yeah. Then you have to find a way to put it in words that everyone is understanding and is using as a reference. But you're just at the point where you started researching for that topic and you're already aware that you might have someone looking in that to learn it.
Yeah, well, the way we did it for the last one at least was we kind of divided the chapters like, okay, I'm more comfortable in this area and he's more comfortable in that area. And of course, you kind of know, you both kind of know the other stuff. But if you're going to see, like I said, I feel comfortable with JSON. Stupid me. So I said, well, I'll take care of those chapters. And he's like, that's fine. I'll focus on looping, whatever. So that's how we divided stuff. So you already had some pre-knowledge, if that is a word.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I know
we'll make it up anyway.
Exactly.
So we had you have some advanced knowledge about the specific topics, but then you can still go like one step deeper into stuff. But at least you don't have to start from scratch.
So is writing a book for you just another way to do community engagement, or is it? I don't think that you can make a living out of writing books in that
absolutely
sector, right?
not. No, you do it for to have something on your shelf and say, I did that.
So it's also exposure as improving self-esteem.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I've done that thing 3 times now.
3 times.
Yeah.
Always at A-Press, right?
No. It's actually 3 different.
3 different. So you taste it from different areas. Yeah.
So the first one was Apex best practices. I don't know why they got. So I took care of the database part of that book. So it was a long time ago. And when I got asked to join in that project, I was really like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah. This is like, wow, this is so exciting. And it was exciting. Sure. And after that, you're basically done with it. I always find it hard to get started on a chapter, but once you start writing and then you get more into the chapters, and it's easier to complete. Then you just have to start cutting back because you wrote too many pages.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the second project, it was like with a team of 5 that we did that one.
Mm-hmm. So how long does it take to write those chapters for a book for you?
So the last one we took about a half a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So 7-8 months maybe.
Okay. And how long were the
sessions, the writing sessions? Oh, okay. Oh. So no, the actual writing sessions were once you kind of have like the idea of like what the structure will be in the chapter. Then most of the time I would do it like when my wife goes like to sports class and stuff. Then I was like, I'll take a 2 hour there, and then I'll do some writing there, or on a Sunday morning. And so it was most of the time like sessions, like 2 to 4 hours.
Everything in your private time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but usually okay. Yeah. So you have a couple of books, and what are you writing now on?
I'm not writing.
So you're planning to?
No.
Why?
No. Why not? Well, it is a lot of effort that you have to put in there. What I don't like about writing books is like you have to tell the publisher or the one who's the editor. You have to give them an outline of the complete book before you get started. And then you have to say, okay, how many pages are there, and when are you going to deliver those pages? And so that's a lot of pressure. Yeah. It's a lot of you have to meet those deadlines, otherwise they're going to start nagging you and that kind of stuff. And well, of course, that's part of the process. And I understand that. But it's like, oh yeah. So you put a lot of effort in it. It's nice to have it on the shelf, but that's about it. Because, like you said, if you're going to do it for the money, well, try something else. Because that's not
writing a book in this area.
No.
So now imagine you're writing a chapter in a book, and then it takes some time to get this done, and then by the time it's being published, it's already outdated.
Oh yeah.
And that's what my story is, right? So I was writing about mobile development in a book like Jürgen Sieben wrote a very big book, like the 8th edition of that already, with always new stuff inside. And then we talked about writing about the mobile part of it, and I was very, very deep into it at that time. And I just wrote my chapter, all the same as you already mentioned, like giving an outline, having this formatted document style you have to write in, and then you have deadlines, and they read it, prove, and bring it back to you, and you have to adjust and so on. And then the time it goes out, the universal theme is coming.
Yeah.
Right, and everything is gone.
Yeah.
So I was so happy that I wrote some kind of line in it. So rumors say that there might be something which makes this here obsolete. But either way, if you're on version like pre-5, then you are ready to go with this jQuery mobile stuff. But yeah, I mean, you have it on your shelf. At some point, you use it as like a poll for your desktop, your monitor. And at some point, you say, okay, I've written a chapter in a book. It's pretty neat. But when it came out, it's already not the newest thing. It's not a responsive universal theme. But either way, so this didn't happen to you.
Well,
right?
See, I write most about like SQL, PL SQL. So that is my area. So that doesn't get as quickly outdated as like Apex though.
That's very lucky.
Yeah, it is lucky. Yeah. I think it's lucky, but yeah. Also, like while I was writing on the JSON chapter, like Beta Hammerschmidt, the PM for JSON, I asked him to review the chapters. One of the things that I started writing about, like there was something, it didn't work properly, blah, blah, blah. There's no support for this feature in JSON area. And I got feedback back, and there was a note in the sideline. It said, "You're correct. It's going to be fixed in this version, but you can't talk about it."
Because they have to remove it, ignore it, or just leave it in and wait for the aftermath, right?
Yeah. So I already knew that this is going to be sent to the editor and it's going to be outdated at the moment I sent. Well, the moment I wrote it down, it's actually outdated. So that's but it doesn't get outdated as quickly as what you're saying. Yeah.
So obviously you have a very long career behind you. Rub it in again, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
So if I would ask you, how would you suggest a new developer to join the Oracle ecosystem? Not only how, but would you suggest someone coming from the university or even from school finding his way? So would you suggest to go into the Oracle
Like, would I recommend like someone from university come into Oracle sphere?
Or would you just suggest everything else, like Postgres, open source, whatever else technologies out there?
Yeah, well, that's a hard one. I don't have an IT background, so I switched careers. So I think it's hard to say. So the Oracle. So when I started working with Oracle, it's always been good to me. So I can highly recommend it because that's a positive experience that I had so far.
And you're still in it, right?
And I still enjoy it. I still enjoy it very much. Yeah.
So now you kept it a secret in your own introduction earlier in this podcast, and now you mentioned you just switched jobs and switched lanes. Let me know what happened there.
What happened there? Okay, so I'm not IT trained.
Okay.
So my training was a physical therapist.
Okay.
So I was in the medical field for a number of years. I got bored with that work eventually. So when I had the chance to basically switch careers, I thought, I'll give this IT a try. I didn't know what to expect basically.
Yeah.
But it was the time when if you could spell IT, you would get a job in IT.
Okay.
So that was easy to get a job there. And so when I worked for that company, they said, we're going to be working with Oracle. And you need to go on this 3-month training course in everything Oracle, which was SQL, PL/SQL, forms, reports, designer.
But not Apex, obviously.
No, it didn't.
HTML/DB
it was. Yeah, it came later. Yeah, true. So, and I liked it. I thought it was.
So if I would known that earlier, we might have something prepared like massage voucher here at the conference. So whoever listens to Devs on Tape can come to you at the next conference and get a free massage with this voucher, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, the voucher code is Devs on Tape, Kscope, all uppercase. And you will see Alex at future conferences and talk to him like that. So we get a little bit of feedback who's listening to Devs on Tape, right?
Exactly. Then we know who's listening, yeah.
Awesome. So coming back to new people in the ecosystem, in the Oracle ecosystem. You have one addition, right?
Yeah, I thought about that. Like you said, like, if you mention this voucher code, blah, 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 right? So I thought about one time I thought, well, how do people actually select, if you go to a conference, how do you select your sessions, right? So most people that I ask, so how do you select your sessions? Most say, well, I'll look at the title. And if the title is cool, I'll go to that one. So if they have 2 sessions at the same time with a good title, well, then I might read the abstracts. So abstracts don't get read as much as you might think.
Besides the acceptance team, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if then you're still not, so then they look at who's the speaker. And then I'll make a choice. So I did put it in the abstract one time, like.
You did? You kind of a voucher code, like secret code
like,
in there?
Okay, if you come up to me before the session and you mention this secret phrase, then.
Oh, wow. What a great idea.
Yeah, and I thought no one would come to me before the session. And actually, like 4 people was like,
wow, good prepared, yeah.
Yeah, it gets read.
We should do the same at Devs on Tape show notes, right? So I guess no one reads it.
Yeah.
We put something in there for this episode. Maybe we would put another voucher code in it for another what is it called? Like
physical therapy
session. So you have, I think you have still something to offer, even that you're so long in the IT now.
Yeah, I'm no longer certified anymore. So it's.
So let's see. I mean, the human body doesn't change, right? So you are still able to.
Well, there's still some evolution going on,
but. Yeah, it might be something different in Europe and in America, right? So let's hop over to, again, maybe something you would suggest or recommend to people. But if you have like a tools and tricks thing, do you have a recommendation for each and every Apex developer or PL/SQL developer what to use? I make an example, like always use Logger, right?
Oh, Logger? Oh,
the
Logger
framework if you're writing an Apex. Do you have any recommendation for a must-have tool, must-have framework, must-have thingy for every developer out there?
No, I agree with you on Logger. Everybody should use Logger and sprinkle that throughout your code.
Yeah.
Here, there, and everywhere. Well, the golden rule, if you can do it in SQL, do it in SQL. Before going to PL/SQL, if you can do it in PL/SQL, then...
And avoid doing the context switch, right? Avoid using both.
Exactly.
If possible. Yeah. All right.
Keep it clean. Don't do... Well... Like I think the most common things that you would tell people.
And always watch Alex presentations and recordings. Maybe from Apex Connect we have something Kscope doesn't have, and this is
recorded sessions.
This is the the recordings of each and every presentation that you can watch after that, even with the on-demand code or even for free. So catch back to the last conferences, listen to Alex talks, and then you know way more tools and tricks. So while I'm just doing the cable management over here because I lost my headphones, let's move over to our categories. So this time I prepared you a little bit so you're not that surprised, right? So we have 3 different categories I ask you questions from. Like the first one is hypothetically, the second one is in private, and the third one is consumption. And I'm very surprised now because I did the hypothetically part the second time on first try. This word is like technological. The 2 words that are driving me nuts in the categories here, I will not replace them. Yeah, you have question marks in your face. Yeah, I have problems to say the words. Basically. Okay. And each and every episode, it might be a running gag that I try to say them. But today is a good day. It worked pretty good. So let's dive into the categories. So hypothetically, what do you estimate? What will your daily work look like in 10 years from now?
Okay. So AI is big nowadays, right? So I was having this discussion with my son like a couple of weeks ago, and he asked me like, so is your job going to disappear because of AI? And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, you can just ask AI to, I want to have an application that does this, that, and the other, and it will generate for you, it works, and so on. So we don't need you anymore. That's what he told me.
Oh, that's a nice thing to hear from
yeah.
Well,
yeah. Okay, well, I can take it from him. I can take it. No.
Okay.
I can't fight him anyway. So, and I told him, well, the problem is not that it can generate stuff and it'll create an application for you. The problem will be like there's no end user that actually know what they want. So if they have to write a prompt to actually generate something and do, they'll never get what they need because it's the hardest part,
right?
Yeah, exactly. The hardest part of the job that we do, it's not the coding, it's not the creating of the apps, it's not that's not the hard part. The hard part is figuring out like if someone tells you, oh, I want to have this kind of functionality, they really don't know what kind of functionality they want. So the hard part is getting the right information so you know what people actually need to do that job or to do whatever application it is.
So you would say in 10 years from now, you're doing the same as now, but the stuff around will change?
Well, I think the job itself will change more to consultancy in getting your interviews and or actually sitting down with people actually to trying to come up with the correct prompts to generate whatever you want. And I think I would think it would shift more towards that side.
Okay, now a prediction. Apex Lang is coming up. You are going to prompt engineering, and your next chapter in the book would be how to improve my prompts using AI, creating Apex Lang applications.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Use it, take it, it's yours now. So another prediction from this episode. Yeah, so now I'm trying to stretch this question so you can come up with a technological trend you want to undo.
Oh yeah.
I could give you some examples, but that might burn.
That might burn. Yeah.
Burn what you could think of.
Yeah, I still not sure. I think each technology has something to add to well-being of life. I think one of the things that is something that is it worries me. Worry is a big word, but like when I was young, way back when. So we would just go outside and play and do stuff and like be gone for the whole day. So that doesn't happen anymore. Most kids have a phone, so parents keep track of their kids wherever they are. They are on the screen like a lot of the time, like with so many hours. People actually get strains, the kids getting weak eyes because they look at the screen all the time. So I think that is worrisome.
You might not think that it's like this, but I remember still going out, being thrown out at home to say like, go to this or this place and ask if they want to come out and play, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is gone.
Yeah, if you want to meet with someone, you actually have to go there, ring the bell, and
exactly.
Yeah.
This doesn't change in the time frame between when you were young and I was young, right?
True. So but I think that is something that I wouldn't mind being without.
So the whole technological movement from or journey from just having one phone at home, maybe a computer or something, to being connected all the time and doesn't have the necessity to go play out.
Yeah,
outside,
exactly.
Right?
So I think that is somewhat worrisome.
Okay.
So yeah.
Next category, in private.
Ooh.
I need some bumper here. So today, this was the first time I was using the plates
The soundboard.
The sounds. Yeah. Try to get some. I just have to remember where those sounds are at. No, in private.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with your work-life balance currently?
Yes. Currently, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like like I said, I do regularly go to conferences, so it gives me like a break from work, and that, I think it's a nice balance. That is not necessarily work life, but it is because if you're good at work, you're happy in life, right?
Sure.
Happy wife, happy
and
life.
The other way around, right?
And the other way around, yeah. So when COVID hit, the COVID year hit, like all conferences were canceled. So what else are you going to do? So I just, instead of going to conferences, I worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked many hours in that year, and that it was like, well, at the end of the year, I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I started cutting back on number of hours that I would work, and that was good. And so
it wasn't the same, but like the same as going to conferences.
No, exactly. But so I changed from working 5 days back to 4 days, and I was like, I have a longer weekend, and I don't really like that one. So now starting picking up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think currently I'm going back to 6 days a week, and so that's
that's also not good.
That's also not good. So,
but if you have the possibility, if it's an option for you, and the customers are there, the projects are there, and you can do it, it's possibly a way to end up earlier with work, right? So
yeah, exactly. Again,
not to mention how long do you still have, right? So that would be a bad thing.
See, again about the age, right?
Trying to avoid that, but it's so tempting.
We always circle back to it. Yeah,
exactly. So I am a little bit frightened about when I hit the record button and the session's over. Alex might throw his knowledge about my. All right, let's go to the next next category: consumption. How do you deal with the growing flood of information via various channels? So, like, I think I have to rewrite those questions because I always have to
explain what
exactly. Yeah. So having like your phone on the table right now, notifications coming in about each and every single thing that's happening, not even just for you, like news, weather updates, and whatever. How do you deal with it? Turn everything off, or maybe just
I like for notification wise, most of them are switched off. Like it's only a few things that I want to keep up to date with.
What are those?
News. So it's not always breaking news, and so but I like to get up to date with those. Of course, if there's a mail that I get, that I see the notification.
Okay.
I really like that you can shut off notification for a certain amount of time.
Or just like snooze, or
just
not today, right?
Yeah, but exactly. So keep quiet for a number of hours or something like that. So
okay,
yeah.
As a little callback, the next question to how do you consume news and new knowledge? So you already said you're preparing for writing a book.
Not writing a book.
I'm just jinxing it.
Yeah, I know.
Wrong time. So you prepared back in the days for writing a book about Jason. So on this point, you try to gather information and research about that. How do you consume those new features? Are there like blog posts, or are you reading newsletters, Twitter or X, magazines, or do you simply read books?
Well, my go-to source for most things technological are still the Oracle docs.
Okay,
to start with.
Sounds a little. So if I compare like social media or newsletters, Oracle docs sounds a little bit
old.
Not going to say anything about that.
Yeah, I find that the docs are most of the time really good. The only problem with that is, like you said, it's not an easy format to read. Like there can be in like one paragraph, there's so much detail that are very subtle in how it works that you have to read them a couple of times. So if there's something about like, I don't know, time zones compared to time zones with timestamps with time zones or without, and that kind of stuff. So it can be one paragraph that basically explains all the differences.
Okay.
But to repeat all those differences, that's kind of like, so there are some very subtle things how they describe it. So that requires a lot of study there.
So you're a good night lecturer if you have your iPad with you or your phone is just opening Oracle Docs.
Yeah.
So there's no human interaction like
I don't
blog
like
posting.
No. So, but I also like the Ask Tom office hours. I also like those.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, not live, to be honest. So if I need for a specific topic, I don't know, Apex and spatial, stuff like that. Karsten always knows everything about that one. So I always try to pick out those, like the pre-recorded sessions in office hours. And I mostly skip to whatever Karsten is saying. Mm-hmm. And I take his word for it. So
speed it up and then just consume everything he says.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we are done with the categories. And this means now I'm greeting Caro back in Germany, still waiting for her first child. So everything good, Caro. I hope you liked this episode and having fun cutting it. And yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. And thank you for attending. Thank you for accepting my invite, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And we set the vouchers up real soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and have a great conference.
And you too. Thank you.
This episode is powered by Hyatt, your smart companion for digital business solutions, and by Auditalk's gracious invitations and support. Thank you for having me at the conference and fueling this journey.